One person who did not like the message of no kings was Donald Trump. He was subtle. He was subtle in his criticism. To prove that he's not a monarch, on Saturday night, he posted this AI video of himself wearing a crown, flying a jet, and strafing New York City with feces. Now, a warning.
Donald Trump craved adoration, but Stephen Colbert offered exposure therapy. When the No Kings protest swept the nation, Colbert turned Trump's hunger for loyalty into a public reckoning through razor-sharp satire. His jokes didn't just mock, they stripped away the illusion of greatness from a man who confused applause with authority. In one unforgettable night, Colbert transformed rebellion into comedy and comedy into truth, proving laughter is the sharpest weapon against false kings.
Chris, Trump has plenty of time to build his Barbie dream ballroom because he sure don't have a government to run. It's been 3 weeks, and it turns out not having government is not good. With so many federal workers furloughed, there's a pause on national park tours and new drug reviews. So these days, you'll need to get your drug reviews from Yelp. Like this one. Meth helped me bike from LA to Vegas, but lost all my teeth. Spiders, 4 stars.
It was the kind of spectacle that made satire feel unnecessary. Protesters marched with gold-painted plungers as royal scepters and sat atop mock thrones built from fast food wrappers. Every street corner turned into a carnival of irony and defiance. Through it all, Trump's motorcade crawled past like a parade no one had requested. Behind the tinted glass, he watched with the smug confidence of a man convinced the nation still adored him. He mistook laughter for loyalty, jeers for cheers, and the calls for accountability as the anthem of his imagined coronation.
Now, going into these peaceful marches, Republican warned us about who would show up.
The Antifa crowd and the pro-Hamas crowd and the Marxists, they're all going to gather on the mall.
The terrorist wing of their party.
The I Hate America and I Want to Be a Marxist rally coming up.
The farthest left, the hardest core, the most unhinged in the Democratic Party.
Yes, the hardest, hingeless terror car of the Marxist.
Stephen Colbert watched the footage with the grin of a man discovering comedy gold buried beneath constitutional debris. His reaction wasn't outrage but delight, a recognition of absurdity in its purest form. Here was a leader so consumed by grandeur that truth had become optional. 4 months, Trump had staged himself as a self-made monarch, surrounded by advisors nodding like ornamental bobbleheads. Colbert caught every symbol, the red carpets, the balcony waves, the grandiose portraits, and realized America no longer needed satire. The nation was already performing its own meticulously scripted political parody.
We are not giving him the security deposit back. Yvonne, can we see that picture again? That is so deeply unsettling. It's like being a kid and seeing your teacher at the grocery store for sale in the meat department. We're just, as I said, we're just 9 months.
As the protests swelled, Trump's press team scrambled to rewrite the story. They rebranded it as a celebration of leadership, which was like calling a fire drill a parade. Colbert couldn't resist dissecting the absurdity. The administration's statements read less like governance and more like the manifesto of a fan club where loyalty was patriotism and dissent was treason. Night after night, Colbert transformed those contradictions into a satire masterclass. With surgical precision and unrelenting wit, he peeled back each layer of vanity, revealing a leader entranced not by duty, but by the gleam of his own reflection.
Of course, the far-left loons were out and proud in all the bastions of liberal anarchy. Lee's Summit, Missouri, Sarasota, Florida, Plano, Texas, Mount Vernon, Iowa, Leesburg, Virginia, and Pocatello, Idaho. Even the people in Idaho turned out on Saturday to tell Trump, no, Idaho.
What made Colbert's takedown so devastating wasn't volume but precision. He didn't rage or rant, he simply revealed absurdities that roared louder than outrage ever could. The No Kings protest crystallized one truth: Trump's presidency wasn't governance but theater, a costume drama of power and validation. His rallies mimicked coronations, his decrees posed as policies, and his followers worshipped a monarch crowned by memes. Colbert's humor didn't exaggerate reality, it diagnosed it, exposing the fragile boundary between confidence and delusion, authority and performance, leadership and the illusion of greatness.
Tonight's Nazi Der Tag is Trump's pick to head the Office of Special Counsel and self-lubricating butler Paul Ingrassia. I think that's what's on his head. According to a leaked Republican group chat, in 2024, Ingrassia admitted, "I do have a Nazi streak in me from time to time." Folks, there's no such thing as a Nazi streak. You got any Nazi in you?
Trump, unfazed by ridicule, turned to social media like a monarch addressing his subjects from a digital balcony. Each post became a proclamation of self-importance, every complaint a royal decree cloaked in outrage. Colbert transformed this endless feed into a gallery of ego, an exhibit of modern narcissism curated in real time. Trump's words revealed a man addicted to applause and allergic to accountability. The irony, of course, was that the more he demanded reverence, the less he inspired it. Cameras caught every flicker of irritation, every moment he confused authority with charm. Colbert mined those clips for comedic gold, turning bluster into lesson, vanity into farce. His monologues highlighted how every tweet seemed engineered to banish humility from the Oval Office. The audience didn't laugh out of cruelty, they laughed in recognition, seeing a president so desperate for adoration that he'd forgotten respect must be earned, not commanded.
If you have not seen this video that he posted might be upsetting to sensitive viewers who do not like watching the President of the United States carpet pooping his own citizens. There it is, King Trump crapping on America, which is insane, though I will grant, factually accurate.
The protests spread across the country, from bustling cities to quiet towns. Crowds dressed as jesters carried banners declaring, "No crowns, no kings, just accountability." Colbert documented it all like a historian of satire, transforming absurdity into civic awareness. His comedy didn't wound, it illuminated. He never mocked the idea of leadership, only the hollow performance of it that Trump had perfected. Through sharp wit and deliberate restraint, Colbert turned laughter into reflection. His takedown wasn't about mockery but about preserving truth in an era when truth itself felt staged. Each punchline carried history's warning: democracy endures through humility, not hubris. And somewhere between the rallies, the tweets, and the golf courses, America's self-appointed king lost the very quality that once defined public service and understanding that power serves people, not the other way around.
Thank you. There are so many disturbing things about this video. Number one, the number two. Second, eat a vegetable, baby. Throwing a handful of flax seeds in your milkshake, you got a real problem. Come on. This video was vile and violent and only proves the point of the No King's March even more. What decent Democratic leader would ever post a video of themselves?
Trump's aides, desperate to salvage a collapsing narrative, launched a parade of interviews praising his so-called visionary leadership. Each segment unfolded like a bedtime story written to comfort an insecure monarch. Colbert pounced on those sound bites, turning them into comedic fuel that exposed the surreal choreography of a White House behaving more like a royal court. Advisors spoke in scripted reverence, cabinet members applauded decrees they barely understood, and the president basked in the hollow echo of his own applause. Colbert's satire inverted the spectacle, transforming royal delusion into national theater. Beyond America's borders, foreign leaders watched with disbelief and dark amusement as the No King slogan spread like wildfire, appearing on social media feeds, in classrooms, and across late-night stages. It evolved from protest into a movement of reclamation. Through satire, citizens began reclaiming a national identity warped by ego and entitlement. Colbert's nightly roast became its anthem, wielding laughter as rebellion and irony as a demand for accountability. Each episode built upon the last, forging a comedic bulwark against the absurdities of unchecked power. And as Trump strained to silence the chorus, his outrage only confirmed the truth Colbert had revealed, that laughter, once unleashed, cannot be ruled.
The GOP is having a rough ride with all of this, and in their attempts to distance themselves from the Nazi, it's not being helped by the fact that we recently learned that Trump is considering an overhaul of the refugee system that would favor white people. Explains the new poem on the Statue of Liberty. Give me your Gwens, your Declans, your huddled Chads yearning to J. Crew.
Weeks passed, cracks began to split Trump's carefully polished royal facade. Approval ratings sagged, alliances splintered, and even his most loyal supporters began whispering doubts in private. Colbert transformed those murmurs into symphonies of satire, painting the image of a court unraveling under the strain of ego and exhaustion. What once resembled dominance now looked unmistakably like parody. Each new policy announcement felt less like leadership and more like the trailer for a sequel no one had asked for. With surgical precision, Colbert narrated the spectacle as if watching a grand illusion collapse beneath the weight of its own vanity. Trump's response to criticism only deepened the absurdity. Every effort to project strength made him seem more like an actor clinging to a script he no longer believed in. When he staged a massive rally to reclaim control, the event imploded under its own theatrics. Floodlights blazed, banners rippled, and music swelled as though for a coronation, but the energy rang hollow. The applause lagged, the chants faltered, and the grandeur felt forced. Colbert dissected it mercilessly, comparing the pageantry to a dress rehearsal for a monarchy that never existed, a leader preaching liberty while worshipping his own reflection.
But there is some good news out there because today, thanks to Trump's newly brokered ceasefire in Gaza, all living Israeli hostages and almost 2,000 Palestinian prisoners have been released. Donald Trump did something good. Kind of surprising to see him do something good. It reminds me of, in The Empire Strikes Back, when Darth Vader revealed this shocking secret.
Luke, I am an organ donor.
Despite the deal, on Friday, in a truly foreseeable turn of events, Trump did not receive the Nobel